Good morning and welcome to the Monday Morning Brief for August 31st, 2015. In 1963, the United States issued a stamp to honor the centenary of a luxurious innovation. What was this innovation? It was the introduction of free city mail delivery, which freed people from regularly trotting down to the post office to pick up their mail. When things that were once luxuries become commonplace, people tend to take them for granted. For many years, postal services around the world have been facing revenue declines because of increased use of email and other factors. When faced with budget deficits, the first thing postal services usually do is raise the postage rate. If you collect new stamps, you know how postage rate increases make collecting more costly. But when the situation is really bad, that's when postal services start eliminating things like mail delivery that people have long taken for granted. And that's when the fur starts to fly. In Canada, public dissatisfaction with their postal service is becoming quite vocal. In March of 2014, Canada Post raised the price of the domestic letter rate from 63 cents to 85 cents. While this was a whopping increase in a country that has fallen on hard times rather rapidly, even more rankling to Canadians was Canada Post's desire to eliminate all home delivery of mail as a cost-saving measure. While this change only affects about 1/3 of Canada's population, Canada Post quickly began to implement their plan by erecting large, unattractive cluster boxes throughout the nation. A fair number of Canadians think this was done in the most arrogant way possible, however. Canada Post, which claims rights of eminent domain because it is a crown corporation, apparently isn't making much effort to consult with anyone about the placement of these boxes, according to those opposing the boxes. And Canadian politicians have entered the fray. Less than a month after Canada Post announced that it planned to increase the basic letter rate to 90 cents in 2016, Montreal's Mayor Denis Coderre earlier this month brought politicians of a similar mindset and a small army of reporters to a city park to watch him take a jackhammer to a recently laid concrete slab awaiting a new Canada Post cluster box. It was a photo opportunity along the lines of Elliot Ness destroying barrels of booze. Coderre upped the ante by saying he'd send a bill for the damages to the park to Canada Post. Naturally, lawsuits from communities, irate property owners, and postal worker unions about the cluster boxes are wending their way through the Canadian court system. Time will tell who will prevail. For Scott Publishing and Lynn Stamp News, I'm Marty Frankevicz. Enjoy your week in stamps.